I longed for the tone, the cadence.
The soft ginger cadence.
Wait, what?
The soft ginger cadence.
Ginger cadence.
It's very, yes, gingerly, very soft. Ginger means soft.
Oh, I thought you were calling me a ginger.
Oh, no. It might have to be gingerly to mean soft, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so this kind of Discord chat will be just kind of just the beginning. Because someone has to start something up just to get some progress done.
True. Apparently, when you ginger something, it is to stimulate or enliven them.
Well, I'd like you to ginger me in the bed.
Yup, absolutely. We're doing that. Gingering.
Gingering all night long.
Because there's a hot fragrant spice, a Southeast Asian plant, and then of lightish reddish yellow or orange brown. And then to flavor with ginger, like you can ginger something and make it flavored. And then to stimulate. Wait, hold on, there's more.
So nothing that has to do with an actual ginger.
Right. Oh, the color. The color thing is having ginger fur, having red or ginger hair. Informal derogatory of a person.
What?
That is,
informal derogatory?
I guess ginger is an informal derogatory term. I guess a formal derogatory term is like faggot. Like everybody agrees that's a bad derogatory term, but then like ginger's kind of like a bad way to describe a redhead, I guess.
I
don't really see it as an insult, but maybe they do.
Maybe.
Let's define gingerly.
Gingers like to make fun of themselves.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there we go. Gingerly, in a careful or cautious manner. Delicately. Showing great care or caution.
Yeah, so I was streaming the new Horizon Zero Dawn DLC like an hour ago. So when I posted on Twitter, it says some losers talk about Stranger Things too. But then the thumbnail is Horizon Zero Dawn: The Frozen Wilds Part 1.
Whoops.
That's just what Twitter does. It doesn't change the thumbnail to what I put it.
That's so weird.
Like it annoyed me a lot when I was like streaming on the regular and I was like playing The Witness, and then I'd go off and play another game and it's like, hey, he's still playing The Witness.
Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. That's
Yeah, so
so weird.
Anyone you want a message to just come in, or
oh. I mean, there's always Nora.
that's exactly who I was thinking.
Yeah, like she's right now on Twitter.
So,
is it gonna be a stream or is it gonna be a Discord chat?
It's a stream. We're streaming right now.
Oh, okay. We're streaming right now.
For 4 minutes, we've been streaming.
Oh, hi, everybody.
No one's there.
Hi, nobody. For 4 minutes now, we've been streaming. We're streaming right now.
Yeah, this is just, yeah. The game we're playing is Sonic Forces. As I put it on my YouTube.
Excellent. Oh, I see this.
Because both are disappointments. One's just more of a disappointment than the other.
Burn.
Oh, I'm sure Punk, once we get back into the Brotakast, I'm sure Punk will have his own little rant about Sonic Forces.
Yes.
The villain is made of edge. I'm not even joking.
What?
He's like, I put all my hate for Sonic and I put it in this crystal and I put it on this body.
And it sucks, which means you secretly love Sonic. Let's see if we can get more of this stream. And like, I wonder if Brian and Darkly are doing anything.
Red?
Let's see.
Think Red gives a shit?
I need to get this link. Open in a new tab. Stats for nerds.
Oh yeah, it's just a thing YouTube does.
That's an interesting thing. There we go. That's how you do it. Okay.
What are you trying to do?
I was trying to get the stream up. Here we
I'm gonna didgeridoo you in the ass. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's this one picture I saw of like someone put a picture next to an article. The article is woman shot in the head during Las Vegas shooting wakes up from coma and takes first steps. Quest added, back in the saddle.
Oh my god! Fallout New Vegas! Holy shit! I mean, that's super cool that she got up and was, but that is amazing.
She will become the courier.
Because she's the courier. That's incredible. Like, hey, good for her. I'm glad she's back up and walking around.
Yeah.
But that is, I love it when good things happen and then people make memes out of them. Like, hey, woman wakes up from coma. Hey, back in the saddle again.
People have been making jokes of like the whole sexual assault victims because some of them were just like, but I'm gay, so you can't be mad at me.
Right, yeah, that's
Kevin Spacey.
The new Kevin Spacey. That's the new
He wasn't the first one to do that. A guy who did it his name was Myers, I think, and he was like, I couldn't have sexually assaulted her because I'm gay and a furry. And so everyone memed the fuck out of it.
They really did. I haven't been seeing it on Twitter, but like Phil told me it's all over Facebook.
Did you hear about George Takei though?
I did. That sounds odd. I wonder
with any of these cases, I always take it with a grain of salt. Because like I know there's a whole thing where you want to believe them, but anyone people can be shitheads.
They can be.
So
a sexual assault should always be heard. But like it's getting weirder and weirder because like at first it was Harvey Weinstein. You're like, oh fuck, holy shit, and then he sounds like the kind of guy that would be a sexual
then it just
predator.
Keeps going, but like,
and then like it just keeps getting weirder because then it's like, oh, this person this person did it, or Kevin Spacey did it, and you're like, what? And then CK
Louis CK is like the most tamest. Louis CK. I don't think Louis CK is a big deal. He asked them. That's the thing.
And they said yes.
And like, that's all he's all he's done is just be weird. He's just weird. That's just weird.
Right. And the thing that like Louis CK, he said that he did it. And he is sorry that it happened, and he's sorry that he took advantage of his fame to get sexual favor. And like that's a good point. You shouldn't take advantage of your fame to get sexual favor. Like that is abuse. But at least it was consensual because a lot of these other assault cases aren't.
Yeah. A
lot of these other assault cases are. But then it's like, okay, so Kevin Spacey is like, okay, that's a little weird, but I guess it's believable-ish. And then it was Louis C.K. and I'm like, okay, now this is getting kind of ridiculous. And then George Takei, I'm like, George Takei.
Well, apparently
George Takei has been with Brad for like 30 years.
Well, apparently there's like an interview of him where he basically admits to doing things like that, but on a bigger scale. And he tries to justify it. So, I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but you know.
It's such a weird time now.
And on the video game side of things, like, all of the male feminists are just getting fucking wrecked.
What do you mean?
Okay, like any kind of like gaming journalists have been like getting outed as sexual like abusers or assaulters.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And most of them are the ones that are like male feminists.
Right. It's like, what? all these cases are...
Yeah, it is getting a bit weird. Like, this is why I have to say, like, you just have to take it with a grain of salt. Harvey Weinstein had like 55 women.
Right.
So it's like, okay, there's gotta be a point. It's like, yeah, it's him.
Okay, he definitely did it.
But then there's like, at some points, there's like one person just says that it's like, we should listen to them, but we shouldn't immediately believe them.
Right, we should listen for sure. They all need to be heard. But yeah, exactly. We shouldn't just immediately go, "Oh my God, predation!" Just start screaming off in the distance. It's like it's one person. Let's hear them out. So let's see what they have to say. Let's see what the accused party has to say.
Yeah, people who are even like listening to this. No one's listening to us, but any who might listen to like the app, like when it's posted up.
Oh yeah, like posted video.
This is the reason why it says "and other bullshit."
And
we're talking about this on here because we usually don't talk about these things on the podcast because
that's true.
That's not our thing. So we're just getting this out there.
Exactly.
We want to shit on Sonic Forces in the podcast and
right. That is specific.
And
we
jerk off, you know, the new Colossus or something.
Yep, whatever we need to do. Mario Odyssey, yeah, we need to...
Well, yeah, that...
I'm to that.
I still have, like, the things we will talk about list. And, and I've been adding games to it a lot. Like, let's see, we got... July, we have Dream Daddy and Splatoon 2. And then August is, like, a whole bunch of games.
A whole bunch? Like 7!
Like, yeah,
7 releases.
Some we're gonna shit on, some we're not. Like, most we're just gonna like them because the only ones that are really bad are Lawbreakers and Agents of Mayhem. Night Trap 25th anniversary is amazing though. So,
oh, I've not heard of it.
Night Trap?
Yeah.
I thought you heard of Night Trap.
No, I don't.
The game that created the ESRB.
What, did it really?
Night Trap.
Wait, was that the?
That was a Sega
boobs?
game. It was a Sega game where there's like one scene where a girl was wearing like a nightgown, and instantly the ESRB was like, "Whoa, contain that shit."
The ESRB, which didn't exist until then, existed suddenly.
Yeah. Let's see. In September, I put Knack 2, and then in like a subcategory, I put immediately move on. We also have Cuphead, which is I heard it's good, but we have a lot to talk about game journalism with that.
Right, because the Cuphead thing is what launched.
It's the Dark Souls of the genre.
Yeah, it launched a huge thing, and then we got to talk. Like, not only should we talk about game journalism, but we also have to talk about difficulty in video games, and like, should video games have a super easy, this isn't a challenge mode?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go more into depth when we talk about it on the podcast, but for right now, I'm just gonna say no. If you can't handle like Dark Souls, you don't deserve to be in games journalism. I'm sorry, but like a person who does journalism A person who does journalism for cars should know how to drive. Who should know how to parallel park a car.
Yeah, I agree. They should know how to. That doesn't mean they have to be able to do it, but they should know how to.
Well, like imagine like the biggest thing about Dark Souls is the bosses, and the
Right?
biggest thing
Yeah,
about Cuphead is the bosses and experiencing them.
that's true.
Like Cuphead has some awesome ass bosses from what I've seen.
The little clips that I've watched, they have some sweet bosses. It's kind of like Contra mixed with Undertale. It looks really good. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I would want that I do want to play Cuphead.
And then also another thing of okay. Then we go to October. A better ukulele game came out at that time, called A Hat in Time.
Oh, Specs has been playing that.
Yeah, it's from what I've seen, it looks adorable. It looks great.
Specs also says that it is awesome.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched him play it.
And
I mean, he's my friend, and I just don't care about his channel at all.
there's also there's also Bubsy, the Woolly Strike Back that we have to talk about.
I do have to promote Specs. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
Spexifier, his channel on YouTube. No, not right now, but like I do have to say that I do like his channel. It is good, and I'm not trying to like just breeze over him. He's my friend, and like I haven't watched any of his videos, so I feel shitty. Technically I have though. I was caught up before TrotCon, and after TrotCon I haven't seen like anything. But he's playing A Hat in Time, which is the point. Like I mean, Specs would be a great person to add to co-host the Brotakast.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't mind that.
Like if we're not getting like the entire old crew, like if we're just getting like a few people, and then getting a couple new people, he could be one of the new people. He's really good. He's actually a streamer like you are.
Yeah,
he's not as far ahead as like you are, but
our biggest obstacle right now is just finding a name. In terms of like yeah, we just need to find a name, like something. I know Punk did that poll, but the biggest chosen one was Punk's Pit. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
The Punk Pit.
Not gonna do that.
I thought it was awesome, but you're right. We should have a more inclusive name. I thought it was funny, and that's the one I voted for.
I found it funny too. It was it's like as if I called this the freelance fuck time.
Right. I mean, it does technically include us, but it singles out one specific person.
Yeah, so I don't know if Chef Joe is still interested.
I don't know. I think he probably would be.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have Bubsy, the Woolly Strike Back. We have to talk about.
That we absolutely have to, because I liked playing that game when I was a kid.
What? Why? What's wrong with you?
Right? I thought it was fun, and I thought it was a cute little game. And when everyone said they were bringing Bubsy back, they were all making fun of it. I'm like, why are people?
Because Bubsy 3D.
This? I never heard of Bubsy 3D.
It's the worst.
I'm like the original Bubsy. I was like, oh, this is so fun.
Yeah. We're also gonna talk.
But Bubsy 3D must have been really bad then.
It ended the series. Like until now.
Terrible.
It was that bad.
Until it was a series slayer.
Yeah. In November we have Sonic Forces, and like these are just among other games that we're going to talk about. And then we're going to talk about movies. And obviously, since you saw it, we're going to talk about the Emoji Movie.
Oh my god, do we have to?
You saw it specifically for the purpose of talking about it. I don't care what your actual reason was. You saw it just so you can talk about it, okay?
Yeah, that's absolutely true though.
Now we have Blade Runner 2049.
Right, which I have to see because everyone's saying it's amazing.
It's my favorite movie of all time now.
It is.
Yes.
That's excellent. Lelf is saying
it beat Mad Max Fury Road now.
See, Beth adores Mad Max Fury Road. Like that's
I
like
love
one
it.
of her. That's one of her top. Like her favorite movie ever is Alien, like the original Alien.
I can understand that.
Which is a good choice, you know. But then like Mad Max Fury Road, she loves. She actually only said that Blade Runner 2049 was decent.
I can understand why some people wouldn't like
And
it.
I was like, that's weird because sci-fi is her favorite thing.
Yeah,
like,
this is a different kind of sci-fi. She might like sci-fi for like this is cyberpunk.
Right, which she likes dystopian futuristic things. Like she likes androids that are like oppressed by humans. Like that's her thing. That's what she likes. But she said it was decent, and then everyone else said it was incredible. And the only complaint I get from people that aren't Beth is they underutilized Harrison Ford.
I think they put him in at the exact right time. I mean, if they just put him in whenever they wanted to, without it pertaining to the story, that would just be bad. Like he was introduced when the story wanted him to be introduced. It's just a beautiful movie. Like I saw it in IMAX.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then obviously, you guess we're gonna talk about My Little Pony movie.
Oh yeah, I mean we have to. As long as enough of the people that are part of this are bronies, then we should talk about the MLP movie.
Yeah, okay. Okay, one more thing. Like one more thing we can talk about here, but we'll talk about more in the podcast. Is did you see Boogie? See how Boogie's doing? Yeah, Boogie 2988.
Oh, how is? Oh yeah, no. He was losing like a ton of weight, wasn't he?
He looks amazing, man. He can fit in a booth now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like,
yeah, that's freaking sweet. I haven't heard an update recently. Like it's been a couple of months, but I heard he was doing really well. He was down like 110 pounds.
Like, let me see if I can get a picture. Cause yeah, he looks great.
That's awesome. Good for him. That's hard to do. It is hard to do. People are like, it's hard.
Here you go.
Yeah, it is hard to do.
There it is.
When you get to a point. Oh my gosh!
I know.
Look at him. That shirt is just absolutely enormous on him. Holy crap! Like he had to go to big and tall, and now that shirt looks like a bag. Like that shirt used to fit him. Holy crap!
Friend in chat. We'll get to this. We'll get to the Stranger Things 2 discussion. We're just talking about certain things I kind of wanted to talk about right now, like Boogie.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm glad.
Yeah,
yeah, just fit in a booth at a restaurant for the first time in 2 decades.
Jesus.
That's awesome. Good for him. That's amazing.
Okay, and one more thing before we get on to the Stranger Things discussion is I don't know. Have you ever heard of Visceral Games? You ever heard of Dead Space?
Yes.
The creators of Dead Space are called Visceral Games.
It's Visceral? Okay.
And, yeah, EA shut them down.
What?
Yeah, it just happened. Like, I woke up one day and said, hey, Visceral Games got shut down by EA.
What? Seriously, fuck EA!
That is exactly what I say in the little, like, outline that I have. It says RIP Visceral Games, what happens to the Star Wars games they're making, and fuck EA.
Yeah, EA is the worst gaming company out there.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it during the podcast. We'll go deep.
We definitely have to talk about that bullshit.
Because recently they also acquired Respawn Entertainment, who made Titanfall.
Oh.
So yeah, we know it's either who's next. I don't know. It's either BioWare or Respawn.
Oh man.
Anyway, Stranger Things 2. Do we have anyone who can join us, or?
Let's see if we can get. I didn't check it. I was checking my email because I do have an email. We have to find out if she's seen Stranger Things. So this isn't going to be a spoiler-free review, is it?
We're talking about spoilers. We have to.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so
yeah. So any of you guys who are hoping like no spoilers, fuck you. Leave. I binged it in like one weekend.
yeah, it took me a couple days, but I also did. Lots of typing. Edit out later.
No, it's staying in. I'm not gonna edit this
It's
thing.
like,
Man.
no, that's staying. You're like, yes, this typing is important.
It's
you
important,
edit it.
It's important to the story. It's like in Birdemic where they show him going to the gas station and filling up his car with gas.
You still add like sound effects to it.
Okay, Derek Gramlow. How you doing, man? Should we invite like people in the audience, or would that be?
But yeah, we should try and get people to.
Derek, would you like to join us in the discussion for this?
Yeah, no, we got a person.
I don't know who you are, but hey, I mean, fun time.
Fun times. We do have a person. That's cool.
We should also talk about. Maybe we shouldn't. Taylor Swift's new song.
Taylor Swift has a new song.
Yeah, it's Look What You Made Me Do. It's the shittiest thing. It's one of the. It's the most. It's like its chorus is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's awful. Okay, so Nora's gonna join us.
All right, Derek will not be joining us, but.
Well, I mean, Nora's gonna listen.
Okay. Derek, if you want to like invite any of your friends who have seen Stranger Things too, you guys can join in on the discussion through the text chat.
Right, we'll keep an eye on the chat.
Yeah, well, I have this cool thing called Restream Chat. Thing is, I'm streaming this to both Twitch and YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Through a thing called Restream, yeah, and Restream has this thing where I can just like I can look at the chat off to the side of both platforms at the same time.
That is awesome.
Not only that, actually, but it also through me posts what the people on YouTube say onto Twitch.
Oh,
so it's a bit confusing, but yeah.
Still, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most important things a streamer should have. Hi, Nora. Yeah, so I guess before we get started, we should probably talk about like what our basic thoughts, our overall thoughts on the season, or like what do you think of season 1? Season 1, obviously. I thought
season 1. Yeah, season 1 was one of the best new series. Like, it was absolutely amazing.
Well, like what it did great was that it didn't just like shove 80s in your face. It kind of just like, yeah, it's the 80s, and here's things.
It's the 80s.
You were watching.
And here are things that are in the 80s.
Yeah, like there's like an alien poster, I think.
Yeah. Alien poster.
And they kind of
like
do the
Star Wars.
They kind of do the same thing in season 2 with like the Ghostbusters. Because Ghostbusters came out in like, when did it come out?
In like it came out in 82.
No, not the recent Ghostbusters. Fucking Google. Yeah, because like, okay, so yeah, and no, it says Ghostbusters came out in 1984.
Oh, 84.
And
that's why they were dressed up in Stranger Things as the Ghostbusters.
I think,
it was a new movie.
The exact time, yeah.
it was a new movie in that year because it was 1983 in Stranger Things 1, and then it's 1984 in Stranger Things 2. It's the fall of 1984.
Hi, Equestrian Legends MLP FIM 123 3000. Yeah, but season 1 was great. You know, it didn't try and like force anything. It showed the creature, but it didn't like put in any jump scares, which I liked.
Right, I liked that too. I liked softer,
yeah,
like, creepy stuff rather than
for a show.
stuff.
It had some really good CGI.
It did, yeah, for just a show with no like real budget. It was just a show.
Yeah, and obviously we can't like the intro was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely was.
Fucking great synthesizer music.
Everything about season 1 is just the greatest thing.
And obviously the biggest thing is that they found good kid actors.
Yeah, and they're like really good. Like strangely good.
Yeah.
Well, Mike is the star of season 1. He's just an absolute amazing actor. That's one of the problems I have with
season 2.
Season 2,
yeah,
is how amazing Mike is in the first one.
And in the second one, he just has nothing to do.
He
Not only does he have nothing to do, but he does the worst thing when you have nothing to do. He sulks. He's just fucking. Oh, 11's not here. Oh my god.
And no, my friend trouble. I don't care.
The thing's that he knows she didn't die because the night that she disappeared, she came to his window. Remember?
She did. She did, yeah, and he saw her. He was like, I thought I saw 11. I saw her.
So like, yeah, he knew. So he had reason to be hopeful, but not sulk. And then he was just like the biggest piss baby towards Max.
The biggest. Okay, so we're on to talking about Stranger Things 2 now.
Yeah, we'll just say like we love season 1, and we're now going on season 2.
Yeah, season 1 was just the greatest. Now season 2, we'll start with Mike. I think that's a good place to start.
I really hated Mike.
I did too. He's so useless.
And then once 11 comes into the scene, he just gets angry because like, you hid her away from me, and it does that stupid like trope where he's hitting on the guy and the guy holds him and then he starts to cry.
Yeah, he's like, no, oh, this is you. It's like,
okay.
As
though, it's okay.
As though 11 belongs to Mike. Like, back off, man.
Well, like understand why. Like he would understand why she would be kept hidden because he kept her hidden as well.
Yeah, he kept her hidden himself. Why is he so pissed someone else did it? I don't understand. Like, he's the smartest of all of them.
And you know, and the funny thing is, you know who the smartest of the kids in this season is?
Oh, Lucas. Max. Oh, Lucas. Lucas is so good.
Lucas is the best.
Yeah,
like, I didn't Lucas... like he didn't have much to do in season 1. I mean, he did some things, but like he's like fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think Lucas was the all-star of this as far as the kids.
He had he had the best development. Dustin's a piece of shit.
He did. I love Dustin.
I like Dustin too. He's a lovable character, but
he is a piece of shit though. He ruins everyone's life.
And the thing is, like, I keep thinking, like, how would you not know that's a creature? And it's like, oh wait, because it's not supposed to be CGI.
Oh right, yeah.
Dustin was the funniest. True. I'll give you that, Derek. He was the funniest still.
Yeah, Dustin was.
He also seemed like just a huge like. Was season 2 brought to us by Three Musketeers? Am I the only one that noticed this, or like, Three Musketeers is so good, even creatures like it, even creatures of the upside down like it.
Yeah, it's your favorite Three Musketeers.
It's your nougat.
And they're like, it's like it's all it's nougat. It's like, no, it's not. It's like some nougat and mostly air.
I like Three Musketeers. It's actually really good.
Three Musketeers are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this review is brought to you by Three
I
Musketeers.
was about to make that same fucking joke. And, yeah, so
Lucas is the best of the kids, and
Well, yeah,
I will agree with that.
He's the
Lucas
first
is the
one
best
to
of
like
kids.
finally explain to Max, like, hey, this is why you should trust us.
Yeah, and he did it, and he did it appropriately, and he did it well, and then Dustin gets mad at him for it. It's like, are you
Dustin
serious?
and Mike.
Yeah, and Mike. It's like, dude, seriously, no. You okay? First of all, friends don't lie. Fuck you. And then second of all,
Dustin. Like,
Dustin has a creature.
He has a creature. Yeah.
He's got a demodog in his house. It ate his cat.
He calls him They called the creature from the first one Demogorgon because it was a creature in D&D, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And so
Demogorgon is the two-headed prince of demons. Like, he's the big bad boss of the abyss.
And the thing is, like, as much as
they called it the Demogorgon.
Demogorgon, and they call this a Demodog.
They called these the the Demagogues, and then they called the big one the Mind Flayer, which is also a D&D monster.
Yeah. Also, before you guys get into this, I don't hate season 2. It's a perfectly good season.
Okay, yeah. Well, we should probably say that too. Let's preface that. I also don't hate season 2.
It has some great character, has some great new characters, and has it. The way I see it, it is a transition season.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
Like Volume 4 of RWBY, it is just to get the plot ready. The RWBY did it much better.
Yeah, I think that season 2 is good. I would say like 7, 8 out of 10, something in there, like ballparking. If we're doing it out of 100, I'd probably give it like 78 out of 100, like a little bit higher on the 70s.
Yeah, so Lucas is great. He has great character development. 11, sometimes she's a piece of shit, but other times she has some great development in terms of
times she's good, right?
Yeah. She looks great with she looks great with short hair.
She does, yeah.
It's amazing. Like, good job, Millie.
I think that all of 11 could be removed from season 2.
All of it?
All of it until she gets back with the kids. Like, I think they could take, like, the misadventures of 11 and 8.
Oh my god.
No, we didn't need episode 7.
Well,
all of episode 7 was a useless episode.
It just added it to be 9 episodes when the usual running time is like 8 episodes.
Yeah. It, like, that whole episode did nothing for me. I like, the beginning of the show set up for a new character to be introduced, 8 and her gang, but then
find out they're just pieces of shit.
Yeah, they're just pieces of shit. And 7 episodes later, you get to see them again, and that's where they get introduced. And it's like, dude, the season's almost over. Why are you introducing new characters?
Wow, this is the biggest assortment of cliches I've ever seen in my entire life.
Right, and then in one place, and then episode 8 starts, and like all of those characters are irrelevant again.
Also, here's the thing: 8 is obviously older than 11, right?
Yeah.
How the fuck were they the same age when they were in the institution together?
Yeah, there's no way.
Like, the thing is, 8 has boobs.
Yeah.
She's just short.
She's just short. There's absolutely no way that they're the same age.
Though I will say her power's cool.
Her power is really cool.
And it allowed for like some really cool sequences. But yeah, that's about it. I don't like her because, like, even when like, oh, there's kids in here, we probably should go. It's like, no, we're gonna kill the father. Fuck this guy.
Right. It's like, no, he's dead. No, he's not dead. He's dead.
8 was a toddler while 11 was a baby. Yeah, the thing is, what I like about 11 was that her kind of interactions with Oh my god, I forgot his name. The sheriff.
Oh, Jim Hopper.
Jim Hopper. Like, I loved that because it showed how much of a parentless childhood she had. She doesn't know how to behave like a real child.
Right, and like that's confusing. Because Jim doesn't know how to behave like a real father.
That's exactly it. She's never had a father. He's never really had a daughter. So.
Yeah, not the same age that 11 is anyway.
Well, it's because the daughter died really young, didn't she?
Right, 5 years old.
Yeah, but it was
so Jim Hopper. We can move like 11. Okay, her character development good, but her episodes useless. She could have just said, "Oh, I found my mom," and then the aunt could have been like, "Here's your mom," and then she could have been like, "I'm Jane," and then the mom could have been like, here's some shit, and then she could have gone back to Mike at that point. Like, that's all that needed to happen.
But no, she needed to find this one so they can set up a new show.
Right,
and I swear to God, if they make a new show,
they have to either be relevant in season 3, or that was entirely useless. Like, her 11 being held up at Jim Hopper's place makes sense. We can have a little bit of that. That's fine. But, like, that entire episode 7, I hated it. I hated all of
it.
It
like,
so
most people
dumb.
hate episode 7, man.
It was just so dumb. I don't... But then, Jim Hopper. We can move to Jim Hopper. Jim Hopper
I still love Jim Hopper.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I love him, and I love his character. I love his actor. Jim Hopper is the quintessential D&D character. He is the guy that's on the case.
Yeah.
Every time you play Dungeons & Dragons, every time you play World of Darkness, your character is Jim Hopper. He's this grizzled old cop who lost his daughter and lost his wife, and he's the cop of a small town where nothing happens except bullshit happens now. There are aliens and all kinds of garbage.
Apples suck, and I hate them. Give me the donuts.
So, like, then I like how he's a shithead to his deputies, because his deputies are morons.
They're morons. Well,
his deputies are basically just other citizens of the town. They're not trained or special in any way. They're just people.
It's kind of like, well, the thing is, like, it's kind of just like a callback to dopey deputies of like past shows.
Yeah, definitely. Because the sheriff is super competent and an amazing person, and then all the deputies are just like, boss, there's some weird slime on this tree.
Don't touch it. Got it.
No, yeah, don't touch it. Okay, yeah, we're not touching it.
Did you ever, like, I was kind of
idiots.
That time with Jim Hopper. Did you ever fear that he might accidentally shoot that black kid when he was like in the cornfield? Like,
oh yeah.
It's like, oh god. Hey chef, hey, welcome to the.
Hi, chef.
Have you seen? Hey chef, have you seen Stranger Things too? Yeah, but so yeah, Jim Hopper is great. If we have anything else to talk about, and we'll go back to it. But I do want to talk about the kid who finally got to show his like acting strength. Will. You finally got to see like, hey, how good of an actor is this kid? Because like we barely saw him in season 1 because obviously he was in the Upside Down, sucking on something.
Right, he was just there the whole season. We didn't.
But
now
we got to see him, and now we got to see like how good of an actor this kid is.
And he did deliver.
He did a great job.
I agree. I don't
made
like
me
his
really
character.
want to punch him.
Yeah, exactly. He made me really want to punch him. Like I don't like his character, but that's kind of exactly where his character was supposed to be.
Yeah,
like he nailed it.
Yeah.
I felt like as a human, like portraying the emotions of someone who is going through what he went through. I think he did a great job.
Like, not just going through like kind of PTSD, but being possessed by a eldritch god.
Yeah, right. What is essentially an eldritch god.
Like, dude, where do you find these kids?
Yeah, where are?
Like, is it just like a yard where you grow them, or do you have to put down like the quality fertilizer, and then plant it, and then wait 7 days, and then
oh yeah, our child fruit is ripe. Let's get him in there. Let's put him into a show.
Yeah. So then let's talk about the newest child added to the group, Max.
Yeah, Max.
I loved her. I like her.
I did too. I thought she was fantastic in every way. Like I even like all the dark ass stuff that came with her.
And and you know, the romance between her and Lucas wasn't like forced.
Yeah,
it was actually like you could see it like, oh, this is turning into something. And then there's her brother.
Yeah, who is the
surprisingly not dead.
Yeah, surprisingly
but
not
I think
dead.
they kind of did that just to show like, oh, this is why he's a piece of shit.
Right. And like I can see Maxine's brother becoming
a good guy.
The guy that is the bully from It.
I've yet to see It.
Well, I mean, even in the book, like whatever his name is, I can't remember his name is, but the bully from It, Henry, I think? But he's at one point he commits a pretty serious crime, and
like how serious are we talking here?
Like, if they caught him, he'd have to go to jail for life.
Oh.
Like, he was already doing bad stuff, like being a racist asshole and carving his initials into a fat kid. Like, he's already a piece of shit, but...
Wow.
But he goes off the deep end and does something absolutely unforgivable. And I think I could see Maxine's brother committing the same exact crime.
Well, he did. He did almost run over some kids.
Yeah, he did almost on purpose run over kids.
And he's also racist. Hey, would you look at that?
Right, and he's also a racist. Man, there are parallels all over the place. And the people who created Stranger Things were supposed to also direct It.
They didn't?
They did not direct It, no. It was a great movie, and the directors, fantastic job. But...
Wait, what is a good movie?
It.
What's it?
Stephen King's It.
Well, I just remember seeing an article that's like, It's
a great movie.
It's the most box office selling movie at this time. And he's like, and then the caption's like, what is it?
What?
Anyway, but yeah, Maxine's brother. Either he's gonna become a complete shithead in season 3. He's gonna become a better person in season 3, or he's just gonna fucking die in season 3.
Or he's just gonna die outright. It's hard to tell too. Because, I mean, he's pretty open-ended. You could...
And may I say,
his
like hair,
whole...
I don't understand how women like him. His hair, even if they didn't know his shitty personality, he's got a shitty mustache and a shitty hair. Like, you wanna get with someone, get with Steve Harrington, dude.
Yes! Steve Harrington!
And that was a transition. Let's talk about Steve.
Steve is the best of the older kids, I think. I think
he's always been the best of the older kids ever since he beat up the Demogorgon.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
And the fact that he still has the bats.
He still has it! And he keeps it! And, like, a fucking dust.
And the first person...
He's like, do you still have that bat? Yeah. All right, cool. Come with me. And he just gets in his car. It's like, what the fuck? Dustin, what? Where are we going?
And then you see like, no, I just still think of that one shot of Steve just like dancing with the glasses on at that party in the beginning.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I think Steve has it rough. Poor Steve. He's awesome.
Yeah, Steve and Dustin was a good enough pairing.
Yeah, Steve and Dustin was.
They were a good team of just like slapstick, funny, and seriousness at the same time.
Exactly.
You know, Steve was like he then became the de facto parent at one point.
He became the parent, right? Because all the parents were out doing other things.
Yeah.
Because Will's mom had to be with Will, and Will and Mike were just fucked off somewhere, and the rest of the crew was just, hey, have you seen this guy? There's nobody here. I can't find my friend. Lucas is like, ah, crap, my little sister turned my walkie off. Dustin's like, dude, code red, Lucas. Damn.
My cat is dead.
Right. I like when he seals the Demodog. He seals what does he name it?
The Demodog. Well,
yeah,
the name.
Yeah.
He's downtown after one of the Three Musketeers.
Oh, D'Artagnan.
He calls him Dart. Then.
Right, Dart. So he locks Dart into like the cellar. He's like, I'm sorry, buddy. You ate my cat.
Like, even when he's a piece of shit, Dustin's still pretty funny.
Right, exactly. He put on the umpire mask and the vest.
That's gonna save you. Yeah.
Right, yeah, like, that's actually gonna save you. So, Steve Harrington was really great. I liked his dynamic. And now, talking about the grown-ups reminded me of the only person in the show that I like more than Jim Hopper.
Was it Bob?
It's Sean Austin. Yes, I love.
I only
Bob.
like my dad actually brought that up, but my dad brought that halfway through the whole show. He was like, "He looks familiar." I'm like, I'll look him up, and I'm like, "He's Sam. He's Sam from Lord of the Rings."
He's Samwise Gamgee.
And yeah, Bob was just so he fucking. You just knew, as soon as he volunteered, you just knew, like, oh no, he's dying.
Oh no, Bob, no, oh Bob, no.
Yeah, the thing that annoys me and my dad is that how he died is just kind of stupid. He stopped to look at his like girlfriend, like, oh, let's not get out of here for these next few seconds.
Yeah, I agree, because, like, it should have been a chase that he lost.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been. But he was like, hey, I made it.
And
oh, no!
Another thing about that is that Jim shoots at those Demodogs, and they don't die. Yet later near the end, he shoots them, and they do die.
And they do die, yeah. Same gun.
Demodogs do die. At the end
Maybe
of the first
Jim
season,
Hopper just sucks and misses.
At the end of the first season, I thought Jim and Joyce were going to get together.
So did I.
And yeah, and even at the end of season 2, we kind of thought...
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
But I mean, hey, I'm glad they didn't get together at the end of season 1, because then it got us Bob.
Right, yeah, because it got us Bob. And, like, I was talking to my friends at D&D, and one of them had a good point. I was like, I love Bob, he's my favorite character. And he goes, yeah, Bob is us. And I thought about that. I was like, oh my god, that's true. We are Bob.
Yeah.
Because in that situation, it's like, hey, Bob, you're pretty good with numbers, right? There's a reason they call me Bob the Brain.
Just basically, yeah, just stupid jokes.
And so, it's like, oh, this is a pathways. This is a map. This is a map of the whole town. Yeah, this is cool. Over here's this lake. And like, we would just go with it. If our friend was like, we can't tell you about this shit, but here's this shit.
And at first he's like, it's a game.
Yeah, at first he was like, it's gotta be some.
Oh yeah, and also Burn welcome. We're just talking about Stranger Things too. We're talking about Bob right now.
Yes, welcome indeed.
And can I just say that whole sequence with like him with Will drawing and then them just putting the papers around, that would take more than a day, and it took less than a day.
It would take a long time.
But yeah, you're right. You're right, Burn. Bob was the new Barb. Except the thing about Barb is, Barb didn't do shit. Barb didn't do shit. She just died.
And that sucks because like Barb, I felt was going to be a fantastic character, and then she wasn't. Like because
and then she wasn't. Yeah, well, because she fucking died.
Right. It wasn't because they wrote her poorly. It was just because she died and they didn't get to be a character. Like, I was like,
why her and not one of Steve's shitty friends?
Yeah. Yeah, so like I thought that Barb was gonna have a bigger role, and then she did.
And then we thought her death was gonna have a big role in season 2, and it didn't.
And it didn't, yeah.
And there was just a huge like sponsorship for KFC.
Yeah. It's like, dang it, is this all Barb's death is gonna bring?
just thank you, Barb's death, for giving us some KFC.
Some KFC.
And good feasts.
I liked. Okay, so we had Steve, and we feel sorry for Steve because Steve is good, and we like him.
Yeah.
And then there's Jonathan.
And, I like Jonathan.
Who we like.
He's not cool, but he's a good guy.
Right, yeah. And like Jonathan's great. And then whatever her name is.
Yeah, well, that fucking whatever her fucking broad.
I can't remember. I only remember Maxine.
I think it was
and Joyce.
Well, yeah, of course.
I can't remember Nancy.
It's fucking Winona Ryder, who, by the way,
Winona Ryder
still looks amazing.
She looks amazing. She always has and still does. And
like she's like what, in her 40s? She still looks
probably late 40s.
She still looks like she's in her late 20s.
Yeah, she does. Absolutely does. I agree with that.
Yeah, but so
she's still a great actor too.
Yeah, do we still want to talk? Do we want to talk more about Jonathan, or do you want to just move straight to Joyce?
Well,
because the thing about John and Nancy is that they banged.
Yeah, and it's like,
that came out of nowhere.
It did come out of nowhere, and what I liked about that though was it came out of nowhere for them too.
Yeah, and it's like because like they even talked about it, like you didn't say anything for like a whole month. It's like, well, this morning I was like,
right,
yeah.
They just left, and then this guy, this conspiracy theorist asshole, which I love, by the way.
He was great.
Yeah, he was. I liked this arc. See, this investigation bringing down the man. That's the kind of crap I want to see.
Is that the man, or is it just some sort of like shadow organization, or is it actually the government?
Oh, maybe it is a shadow organization. That's a good point, because we don't know. But freaking, I don't want to see the misadventures of Ellen 8. I want to see Nancy and Jonathan bring down the government. That's the crap I'm interested in. And I love how he says it. Like, I believe all this shit that you're saying. And don't get mad at me for, like... He's like, don't get mad at me because your shit's weird. I believe you. We need everyone else to believe you. And they won't. So what are we gonna do? And then he waters down some vodka and he's like, ha 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 ha. Let's make your story less weird, but still incriminate them. I was like, that's brilliant. Holy shit.
Yeah,
you're lying for the right reasons. Like, that's crazy good.
Yeah, and
I
that was
loved
like
that scene.
Yeah, it was a good scene. And then he allows him to like stay for like what, one night?
Yeah, one night he's like, "Hey, you guys can stay. You don't have
And
to
then the
go.
next morning
You
he's
can
like,
stay here."
what do you say? I forgot what he said.
He was like, he made them breakfast, and he was like, "So how's that couch?" Because he knew.
He knew.
Because he was the one that was like trying to get him to bang in the first place. And
He was the whole like Stranger Things 2 community.
Yes, he represented the entire fandom. Like,
just
the entire
do it
community around
already.
Stranger Things.
Okay,
So
Burn.
and then he was like, "Get out."
Yeah, he's just like, get out. Oh no, he said how was the pullout?
Yeah, that's right. He said, "How was the pullout?" Couch.
Let's see. Burn says, I felt bad when Will said, "Why don't you have any friends?" But then I remember the pullout scene, and then justice is served. Yeah, it's nice to see them together.
It is.
And like, you know, at the end,
as long as we know Steve is okay.
Like, okay, yeah, as long as Steve at the end is okay. He's totally fine with it, and that's great.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. Like, it's great that they didn't like make him like, ugh, fuck Jonathan, or like still pine after. He's just like, yeah, you know, things happen. Like, no shows do that.
They don't,
because they're like, we need more subplots.
Right, and like I have this. I've been thinking about whether or not I want Maxine's brother to go apeshit. And like I like him and Jonathan, or him and Steve's dynamic.
They just don't. They're
because they're two alphas, and they're just
different kinds of alphas.
They're butting heads and swinging dicks, and it's like they do that, but they don't hate each other, right? Like they.
I mean, they did get into a fist fight.
Right, not until like the very end of where he's like, "You have my family, and you're not letting me see her. Fuck you." And I kind of was on his side. I was like, "Yeah, that's his sister. Like, I'm sorry that you're doing the right thing, and she wants to as well. But you can't just say, no, fuck you, go away. You have to let her stand up for herself. You have to have her say, no, fuck you, go away, and then say, you heard her." Go away.
Has this show yet to say the F word?
No, it doesn't. It hasn't. It said shit though.
Well, I mean, like,
I don't think it said the F word.
Shit's okay. Shit's fine.
It's starting to be fine.
Burn says Steve can keep getting his ass beat. It's fine. And also say season 3. Who will Steve get his ass kicked by next? That's what I'm looking forward to now.
Season 3. He gets his ass kicked again.
Oh, I just wanted to kick ass because, I mean, that scene where he fought the Demogorgon, like, that was just the most surprise badass scene I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it was super great. And, like, I also liked when he went out there to deal with Dart. He was like, "I'm gonna hit you with this bat." And he just strolls out, ready to hit this monster with this bat,
and the monster's gone.
And then like 2 more of them come out, and you're like, "Oh yeah. Shit!"
Well, not just like 2 more of them, a bunch of them.
A bunch more of them, yeah.
Which is kind of that's another one of my kind of gripes is that it's kind of how I expected the season to go. It's like season 1 we just have 1, season 2 let's just put a bunch more in there.
Right.
Which, I mean, like, it did make that scene a lot more surprising. But
it did. And I think they should have hinted at more of them more than they did.
Yeah, and like right now, the Demogorgons and the Demodogs, they're kind of their overall structure and design is cool, but they're kind of boring. That's the thing, is that they're kind of blandly colored. They kind of almost remind me of the enemies that they fought in Suicide Squad. Except more interesting, obviously.
Right, definitely. But yeah, their design could be more. It could be more.
Like season 3 might introduce a new one. and I hope it's like.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
I hope it introduces a new one that's like the seed of a big giant one.
Yeah.
Like a dart, like a polywog of the big giant one gets through. Like at the very end where it's closing up on the big one and it tries to like push through. Like maybe season 3 opens in on that scene and it spits a little seed through the hole before it shuts. And that's the polywog egg for the new big thing. And like season 3 is them dealing with the adolescent big giant one.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Another thing I want to talk about before we move on actually to the next character that we want to talk about. I have like one problem with the Upside Down, and it says, how do these buildings get here? Like,
yeah,
we're assuming the Upside Down has been there for as long as time has been. So if someone makes a building, does it just into existence? Or does it show it, or does it show it just being formed together right there?
Right, with nobody building it, just being so like with the Upside Down, the way it's structured, it seems that buildings are part of the natural landscape of the Upside Down. So yeah, I guess they just build themselves while the right side up is building them. I don't know. That's a really good question.
It is. Like I was saying, like, how do these buildings get here?
I want Will to say that now. I want him to in Stranger Things 3 go like, why is the arcade all like here? Why is it here?
I'm not sure they're gonna explain it. They're not.
They probably won't. I guess they don't need to, but like that's really weird.
Because no one's like as meta as me to think that.
That's a really good one though. How do those buildings just get there?
Yeah.
I never thought of that, and usually that's the kind of thing I'd think about. Good call. Good call.
Yeah. So shall we just talk about?
I'm gonna wait for Zach. Zach is gonna say that. I know he will. Once Zach watches the show, he's gonna say, "Where do those buildings come from?"
Okay,
I'm calling it right now.
If he does, tell me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about Joyce. Just as crazy as season 1.
Yes, just as crazy as season 1.
It's crazy, but her personality is crazy. While it's actually the thing that she's being crazy about is actually happening.
Is real, right? So she's not.
And then like Mike joins in on those shenanigans.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, that's the only. Okay, you know what? That's the only thing he does.
Right. Is he?
And even then, he's just like an extra hand. I was like, Mike still just kind of disappointed me because like I was so excited to see more of Finn because Finn Wolfhard is a really good actor.
Yeah, I was. He really is, and he kills it in Stephen King's It. Like he does such a wonderful job as Richie.
Yeah. So.
And I wanted to see more. I am right there with you. And we didn't.
I think now that hopefully we'll see. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of that of his good acting because now.
Right, because 11's back.
Yeah.
And now he has a reason to be written into the plot.
Finally.
Right, finally. We had to wait a whole season, but now he's finally here.
Yeah. So Joyce. What is there to say about Joyce? She's like same old. She's still a good actress, you know.
Right. I think that Joyce, I think her role is the most important role because she's
the mother of this ragtag group.
Right. Will is getting all of the stuff happening to him, so Will can't be the main character.
Well, like that's why the intros always starts with starring Winona Ryder as the first name.
Yeah, I mean it is top billing, but yet you're right though. She does deserve that spot because Joyce is the one that drives the plot. Because without her, there's no investigation. There's no what's happening to my son.
If she didn't have these like inklings of like something's not right here, she wouldn't have found out that the dead person isn't actually her son.
Yeah.
And I would say like
that right.
It's like the thing is like yeah, sure the other characters had their crazy moments, but like what Winona Ryder had to do was remain crazy and paranoid throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
And just like
The
deliver this
whole
performance as like it's a mother who is obviously scared for her son because he's been taken over by an eldritch god, and
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, the situation some mothers have been through, you know.
So yeah, some mothers have been through.
So yeah, just like good on Winona, good on Joyce. Is still a great character. I'm not sure
Right,
if I
good
really.
on the writers too.
I'm not sure if I really like hope that her and Hopper get together. Like, sure, it'd be cute, but like, what would come from it?
Right, I kind of like that they smoked behind the bleachers in high school together.
Like it seems like they're just more just intimate friends. That's what I want.
Intimate friends. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I enjoy. I think that dynamic is what I think it fits best.
Yes, I think that fits best. Like, doesn't have romance be a obstacle in case things happen, like things in terms of like the upside down. So
Right.
there's no like stupid obstacles that come out of that.
Yeah, that would be irritating. I think that,
and there kind of was that with 11 and Maxine.
yeah, there was and that the whole jealousy thing.
Like it does kind of make sense because 11 does have some sort of does have a huge attachment to Mike since he was the first one to really like connect with her.
Right.
So
and it makes sense.
So it makes sense because they're younger. So like if it were to happen with the adults, it'd just be kind of shitty.
Right. I like that there's the romance with the kids like Lucas and Max, and I like.
They're like, where'd that girl come from? That like
11
asked
and Mike.
Will out. Like who are you?
Yeah. The girl that was just like, you want to dance with me, zombie boy?
Yo, zombie boy. How's it going?
And he was like, yeah.
Like I remember hearing somewhere like rumors of like Will being gay.
Oh.
And, you know, I wouldn't mind that. That's fine. I don't care.
That'd be interesting. That like he.
I think the upside down turned him gay.
Because like,
it's that eldritch god.
That would be cool because there's that journey, and like, you gotta tell your friends you're gay, and they could make a whole like half of an episode about that thing, and then like something should.
But then again, here's the thing: is that like that's kind of like a deal that they're like 11, aren't they?
Maybe, but they can't be that way forever.
Well, no shit.
So they're gonna have to get older in the show too.
They're not Ash Ketchum. I almost said Ass Ketchum. I'm wondering there has to be a Pokemon porno where he's named Ass Ketchum.
Oh, there has to be.
Anyway, yeah, moving on.
But I think the romance should stay with the kids and like the adults, like Jim Hopper and Joyce. I like them, and it's cool. But I like that they're old high school friends.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's actually
Hopper
really.
Was the cool kid who smokes behind the bleachers, and like Joyce was the super popular glam girl. And they like never. I don't know if they dated or not, but like it's cool that it's ambiguous. It's like
yeah, it's just, I kind of like it.
I like their stories.
Yeah, definitely.
And then he was like, Bob the Brain, really? She's like, don't call him that.
Like, I'm guessing like Bob was also in their high school.
Yeah, exactly. Bob must have also gone to high school with
Bob
them.
the Brain.
Bob the Brain.
And it's kind of cute. Well, I mean, it's kind of cute in that because Bob got to finally go out with the popular girl.
Go out with the popular girl, right? And that's what made their relationship so cool.
And she doesn't dislike him. She doesn't like think he's gross. She actually does like him because he's a good person.
Right, and that's what's attractive to her, and she enjoys him and wanted him to be around. And
he also seemed to be a really good father.
Yeah,
even if his advice completely fucked Will over.
Yeah, his advice.
No, just stand there. Just stand there.
I love Sean Austin.
Just like the actor.
Well, yeah, but like I like Bob too because he was like, just stand up to your fears, Will. Just do it, and then he does. He just gets annihilated by the boss.
He gets fucking. Like, He almost literally gets butt reamed by hentai tentacles.
Yeah, like, and that's so real though, because you can see, like, if somebody were to tell me to stand up to my bully, it's like I'm this 31-year-old man, and I'm getting attacked by this guy at work or whatever. If that were to happen, and somebody told me to stand up to him, you know that guy would just kick my ass. And that's the reality of it.
Yeah, but the thing is that there's still the possible option that you can kick his ass, because he's not an eldritch god. My bully's Cthulhu. What do I do?
My bully's gonna enter my body and possess me.
He's making me go mad.
Steve and Maxine's brother porn. Oh, jeez. So yeah, that his advice did ruin Will's life.
Yeah, me and Dad were both just like, yeah, dude, he just fucked you over that.
I like the description of the Netflix description of that specific episode too.
What was it?
I'm gonna pull it up right now. It's really funny. It's really funny after you see it.
Yeah, but one thing I like is that they didn't call this Stranger Things Season 2. They just called it Stranger Things 2. I don't know.
I like.
It's like
I
how the new Last of Us is being called Part 2 instead of 2, because it's still the same story.
Ah, yes.
So,
that is good.
And with Stranger Things 2, it feels like as if you're still watching an 80s movie. And the potentially more disappointing 80s movie sequel. You think that's why they made it not so great? Because it's like Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, this is Stranger Things 1. So that's not it. Here we go, Stranger Things 2 episodes. Because I'm pretty sure that's episode 3.
Yeah, I think it's episode 3.
Yeah, Dustin adopts a strange new pet, and 11 grows increasingly impatient. A well-meaning Bob urges Will to stand up to his fears.
That's the perfect description of Bob. Well-meaning.
Well-meaning, yes, absolutely yes.
Because he wants nothing but what's the best for everyone.
He really does. He's just a wonderful human being. I love him.
He was a wonderful human being.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, this is another thing kind of disappointing. It's like they didn't. It seems like they kind of just added in the new character just to kill him.
It kind of seems that way.
Kind of like Star Trek. From what I've heard about Star Trek, is that there's just like, oh, they kill off like one of the extra like members of the crew, just so that they make the scene seem more dire.
Right.
Instead of I don't know, injuring the main character.
Right. Which is what they do with Stranger Things. Jim Hopper gets fucked up in the tunnels.
That don't say it like that. Let's not. Gonna fuck you up in the tunnels, boy. Gonna sodomize your asshole.
I was so pissed. I'm like, they can't kill Jim Hopper.
And
he's the D&D character.
There are certain characters that just won't die, and that's Jim Hopper, 11, and Joyce.
Right.
And Mike, I guess.
And I guess Mike, right. Now, I don't know if they'll kill the kids.
They'll kill the black one.
Lucas. I died for you, Maxine.
I died for you because the black guy always goes first.
My name's not Maxine, it's Max. Call me Max. Everyone calls me Max. Why did you say that? Why was that your last word?
Yeah, so let's see. What else is there? Do you want to talk about episode 7 in depth, or because those
episode 7 is definitely the worst episode.
It's not a horrible episode, but it's not. But
I mean, it's not poorly written, but I hate it.
Yeah, I hate
it. Okay. Let me rephrase. I hate that episode. It is not the worst episode. I hate that episode the most. Because it is not a bad episode. It's not.
Like
poorly written. It's not poorly
it's
acted.
It's what could have potentially been a good episode if they made not just the characters more interesting, but it makes sense for the plot as well.
Correct. And it just did, like, it made sense for the character, but it did not make sense for the plot. Like, the whole alien thing, the whole upside down thing is happening, and then also Eleven finds this psychic that she knew a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, no. That plot right there needs to be like an entire season of Stranger Things.
Yeah, and they just kind of put it into one episode.
Yeah,
and it just kind of makes it weaker.
It does. It takes what could have been strong character development for a character and makes it kind of weird. Now, like, she comes back and she's all goth. And she's like bitching.
Okay, that's the one good thing to come out of that is bitching. And then he's just
I agree.
And then Jim Hopper's like, yeah, bitching.
And then Jim Hopper's like, yeah, bitching. I was like, okay, I like that now. If Jim Hopper says it's okay, I guess I can like that episode. You know, I liked just that, and her power was super cool, and I liked that she was really fucking evil. And
she could come back as a villain.
She had a good point. You know, it is okay if you don't want to kill him, but don't rob me of my choice. And like, okay, you have a good point.
But still, like, they're like the daughters are in the same building as their father, and you're about to kill him. And trust me, that's gonna traumatize them.
You have a good point. Don't get in the way of your choices. But here's the thing about your choice. It is going to lead to a scenario that makes these daughters like your sorry ass. Do you want them to be like your sorry ass? Sorry, no, you don't. And if you do, you're just as fucked up as Dad is. So, yeah,
do you even know Dad's actual name?
I don't. I just know him as Papa.
Papa.
I don't actually know his name. But, like, I agree that you shouldn't get in the way of other people's choices that. That's definitely. But that choice was just so awful that I think 11 was in the right. Normally, I would say she isn't. Because you gotta let people make their own mistakes.
And then once she makes a decision, 8 will remember that.
8 will remember that.
You know what? That actually, I would not be surprised if Telltale makes a game out of Stranger Things.
Now that they've done Walking Dead, yeah, absolutely, I guarantee. Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
That makes sense.
Telltale is kind of iffy for me now.
Well, if they do Telltale, they should do Telltale 11, and that's where her story should come out.
And
I hated that.
Well, I mean, just to tell you about Telltale, they recently let go of like 90 of their employees.
What the heck? That's a huge exodus.
They're restructuring. It's kind of just like...
That's another excuse for being greedy.
Yeah, and they are being greedy. They're not making anything original now.
I mean, neither does Weird Al, but he's still awesome.
Well, the thing is, Weird Al establishes himself as making something original. Hasn't he?
Yeah, that's true. He does. Oh, he does. 50% of the things he makes.
Telltale just kind of started with like Sam and Max, and Sam and Max was a comic book series.
Oh.
Anyway, back to Stranger Things.
Right.
Yeah. So
altogether, it was a good sequel, but it wasn't like great. It wasn't great like the first season was, and that's okay. It just it worries me that it's going in that direction. But I think what you said earlier is what Stranger Things 2 is. It's a transition season.
It's a transition season. Like I
said,
said,
setting up for the plot. of Stranger Things 3.
My least favorite volume of RWBY is Volume 4 because it's boring. It's kind of boring at times, but it's necessary because it sets up
for what is going to be a very incredible volume.
Yeah, well, yeah. Volume 5 so far is great. I mean, it's not boring.
Yeah, right. So I think they are gearing up for it. Like, I want more Eldrazi monsters. I was really hoping for more Eldrazi monsters,
and then they were like, it's just got the same specific.
Right, the same ones. I'm like, okay. And then the big one.
There has to be a scene in season 3 or season 4 where it's just mayhem going on, and there's just multiple different kinds of Eldrazi monsters fucking the town up. This has to happen.
It just right. It's like the whole town is in on it now. I'm like, haha, this was what we were hiding. The portal just opens and everything pours out, and just everyone dies. And then the Upside Down stops being a ghost town and starts being the regular town.
Burn says, I found it funny that there's only like 2 families in the whole town that care about their kids. Yeah, Mike's,
that's a good point.
Mike's parents are pretty bad.
They are pretty bad, yeah.
Like, the mother is kind of trying, but the father father just doesn't care.
He doesn't. He's terrible. The mother's fine, but the dad is just he's just a 50s dad, but he's in the 80s.
That's exactly what he is.
Yeah, he's a 50s dad in the 80s.
He's like 20, 30 years older than his wife.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, you just don't even care. You're sitting there, your wife is in the bath, and someone's at the door, and you're waiting for her to answer it.
See, that scene was pretty weird.
That was a weird scene. I was like, are you gonna get up out of your chair and get that?
No, I mean, just with like Maxine's brother and her, he's just like,
yeah,
MILF.
Right, he was just like, hey, MILF, what's up?
It's like, what?
Wait,
is he setting up anything, or is he just a sleaze bag?
Right. So, but I like, my favorite thing about that is that he, when he wants to,
can be nice.
He can be nice. Yeah. Like, he can act. And that makes me wonder if his character truly would like to be like that, or if he does that as a means to an end. I would like to see, like, I don't necessarily want a redemption arc for him, but if they're gonna do it, I want him to be gay for Steve, but not actually like go after him, but be like secretly gay for Steve, and then when he dies,
love you, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when he dies, be like a hero, like be like a real actual hero, like Bob.
Yeah, Barb.
And, like,
why couldn't you do anything, Barb?
I like how they have the same name, Bob and Barb.
Yeah, it's almost like
the next guy,
and they're both nerds too.
Yes, and they're both nerds. We need another nerd for season 3 to die, or we need that isn't the kids. We need Maxine's brother to die in place of that nerd that we think is gonna die, because a nerd always dies. And he'll be like, no, guys, get out of here. What are you waiting for? I love you, Steve.
And Steve's just like, what the fuck? No homo.
And Steve is like, what? That would be awesome. Like, I don't want him necessarily to have a redemption arc, but if he does, I want no one to know that he's redeeming. Like, I want him to be an asshole the entire time, but every time someone says something to him, make him have like a single tear expression, like, I am such an asshole. And eventually just like sacrifice himself to save those kids or something.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't want a redemption arc. It's I want him to actually go crazy murder face, but if he doesn't, if they are going to do it, it has to be soft.
Okay, yeah.
I think it should be soft.
Another question I have, like pertaining to the world of Stranger Things, how do these powers work? Because it seems to me like one use of power equals one nosebleed. No matter no matter how hard you do it, it would just be one nosebleed.
It's like, oh my god, I would use my powers all the time.
It seemed to be like the more Eleven uses it in season 1, it would be like more damaging to her body, but no, it's just one nosebleed.
It is, and I just want to. I wonder if that symbolizes the strain it puts on her cardiovascular system, and then the thinnest membrane in your body is your nose. So I wonder if that's what it is. Like, it really crazily messes up her blood pressure.
Like if it's her body using the powers, it's probably her blood's rushing probably pretty fast because she's trying to like put that anger into something.
Right. I want it to show more adverse effects. Like, if they're gonna make her like the super powerful person, they gotta give her a limit.
I'm still wondering, like, is a head going to explode? Is there going to be head explosion? It seems to me, because there nearly was one in season 1 when she seems like she just smashed everyone's brain from the inside.
Right, those guards.
Yeah. Like, are their heads gonna explode? Or are their heads gonna?
She's
explode?
like, oh yeah, I've killed. I'm a badass.
Well, see, that time when she like snapped that guy's neck, I was like, dude, that's fucking great.
That was ridiculous. I want Murder Warpath L back too. Like, hop her up on some Egos. That was a pun. Hop her up, and then. Like,
oh wait, okay, so during the first time we saw 11,
kill these Demodogs.
During the first time we saw 11, she shut off a fan with her mind and her nose didn't bleed. What is this fucking continuity bullshit?
Yeah, maybe. Do you think it has something to do with her blood pressure? Like, if she does it too much, she's gonna have an aneurysm, which is fatal.
Yeah,
can be fatal.
She have diabetes or. She's got to have some sugar in her body. Now she can enter the Matrix to speak to her mom.
Oh my god, right? Like, she can. She can deprive herself of her senses.
I will say those scenes where she's in that strange realm. Those were some of like my favorite scenes, just because of how well they were lit and how just well like shot they were. And how potentially horrifying it could be.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like, okay, here's what I want. Now that you mentioned that, I want her powers to be related to the Upside Down. And in the next season, so, like, the big one, right, got a look if it perceives through vision.
Well, I'm pretty sure it has.
Got a look of her.
It has to have something to do with it, because she was able, like, telekinesis, she didn't put back together the gate by pulling it together with her telekinesis. She used some power that had something to do with the Upside Down.
Yeah, it looked like it. It really did. So, like, I want her to go.
There isn't a specific name for her power, because it's not telekinesis. She was able to make someone piss their pants.
Yeah. That's true. It's something else. It has to be something else, because it isn't just telekinesis, unless, like, she was squeezing their bladder. Like,
that actually might be it.
That implies, though, that she can reach into people's bodies and squeeze, and that might have been what happened to those guards. And if that's the case, then that's like elfin lead bullshit. Like, that's like serious stuff.
Yeah, but without getting as bullshitty or making her that much of a shitty person.
Right. Yeah, Elfin Lead was a great anime.
And hopefully less dogs dying. Like, no dogs dying, please.
No dog. Yes, just cats.
Oh yeah, cats. You know what's the funny thing about that? My cat is laying right next to me. I love you, Mickey. You're a good cat.
Okay, so the big thing. I kind of want her to go back into that realm to visit her mom.
Like from time to time,
Like,
you mean?
from time to time, yeah. And then like one of those times, I want them to establish that she does that.
Okay.
And then one time she goes to do that, like during an episode, like they establish in
And
the
she's
first
dead?
episode that she does that, and then 2, 3, and then fourth episode she goes, she goes to do it again, and she walks up to her mom, and then she like look, and her mom is just sitting there pointing, saying the things that she keeps saying, but she's pointing, and 11 turns, and it's that thing, like the big thing from the Upside Down, and she's like, because like
What the fuck?
it came into this realm, and she didn't know it could do that, and now she's always in danger.
Well, the first time we ever really saw the Demogorgon was when she saw it in that realm.
Oh fuck, it was. Why didn't we see that in season 2 at all? That was the coolest part.
Because I think the Demogorgon was more sentient than the Demodogs.
Oh yeah, I think right.
Demodogs are just dumb.
Yeah, they didn't make it quite to that.
Doug Demodog, owner of the Demodog.
It was just like a worker rather than a drone. Like the drones were the Demogorgon.
Yeah, it's like thinking how this hierarchy of the Upside Down works is kind of weird.
Right, Demodog, Demogorgon.
Like, what do they do on their free time?
Yeah, what are they actually doing?
Do they just sit there? I mean,
they eat people, so what do they eat in the
Upside Down? What do they eat in the Upside Down? Are they like Upside Down creatures? Or...
Are they Upside Down animals? Are there Upside Down people?
I'm pretty sure you would have seen them by now.
Yeah, we really would have. But like, what's in there? How do they consume?
Another interesting idea would be like, what if Russia got a hold of that technology?
Oh,
or if what if some other entity got a hold of that technology, and then like it spreads around the world, and everyone like all of the big organizations has like a portal to the Upside Down.
Right. I want something like that to happen, kinda.
Yeah, but that would have to be the final season.
Right, because that's too widespread. But I want them, because Will now no longer has a reason to ever go back or do anything. And here's how I hope they tie it in. It happens in the next town over, right? These Demogorgon things are coming.
Yeah.
And it happens in the next town over. And Will is like, oh my god, did it lose interest in me? Am I finally free? And then Joyce is like, my son, oh my god, my son is finally free. We don't have to worry. And then what happens is, this other mother of this other kid that it's happening to visits Joy. And she says, I know your son's been through this, and I can't only imagine the hell that you've been going through. I've only seen the tip of the iceberg. But I need your help. I need your son's help. I need you to help me not have to ever go through what you went through. And like, I want Joyce to wrestle with that. I want her to be I
want Joyce to wrestle that mother.
I want her to wrestle with that.
Give her a fucking suplex.
I want her to think about it. I want her to be like, I want her to ask Will, like, Will, I don't want you to do this. You have no obligation to help these people, but if you want to help these people, I will help you help these people. Because, like, his mom, would she have done what she did for any random person? I don't think she's that good-hearted.
Joyce?
I think Joyce is a good person, but I don't think she's a hero like Jim Hopper is.
Well, yeah, I mean, Joyce, obviously she's doing what she's being a mother. She's doing
right,
caring for her son and her son's friends.
Right, and that's why I think this mother should ask her, and she should say no. But then Will should come out and go, no, Mom, this kid doesn't deserve what happened to me, and you, as my mother, need to go make happen to this mother. And then that's what happens. And Jim Hopper goes to the next town over, and the kids stow away. Like, Steve, they hear it's happening, so Steve, like, they get Steve to drive them to the next town over against everybody's wishes. I would love that. That would be the perfect introduction to season 3 for me. It may not be what happens, but for me, I think that would be the best.
Okay, like it's like where it just comes up to her door.
Well, I think maybe that person maybe has heard about it from somebody, maybe from Bob, or like somebody who didn't know it was supposed to be a secret.
Yeah.
And then it starts happening to them because they, you know, they're part of it now.
Welcome to the family, son.
And like that kid that this is happening to, at first hates it, but then instead of rejecting it like Will, embraces it. And like that kid goes totally dark side and is super evil.
Now that would be interesting.
And so like Will hated it, but this kid could be like, "Oh my god, I love this feeling."
Join
man,
and they'll make a whole Star Wars comparison to it.
Crazy. That would be so crazy. Yeah, because it's still a new movie. The kids would make a Star Wars like, this kid has gone dark side.
It's gone fucking dark side.
This kid is a Sith, and they would call him like the Sith or something.
Let's see. Wait, like when did The Empire Strikes Back come out?
Well, the first one came out in 1978, so The Empire Strikes Back was probably 82.
And then I forgot what was the other one.
No, Empire Strikes Back's probably 80. And then Return of the Jedi was probably.
The Empire Strikes Back was 1980.
All right.
Let's see, Return of the Jedi.
I'm thinking
1983.
Ooh, 1983. So the Return of the Jedi would have just come out last year in the Stranger Things
this one might
universe.
take place like another year after.
Right.
But even then, it'd still be fairly recent.
It would be. It would still be fairly recent.
All right, let's see. Anything else we need to talk about?
Should it have a third season?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean,
absolutely yes. Like, obviously, it should have a third season. It's just not maybe not have it be about Elle and her stuff. Have it be about Will and Joyce and Jonathan have to decide to help this other mother and child. And then they go, and of course they go to Jim Hopper, and Hopper goes with them.
You're just going to explain the whole idea over again?
Right, and then after that, they're like, dude, we have to go help Will. He's our friend. So, and that's what Mike says. And Mike's like, we have 11 now. We're invincible. Like, we got our mage back, and we've got a Zoomer now, too.
Is a Zoomer an actual thing, or?
No, it isn't.
Okay.
She's not knowing how to be a D&D nerd. She's a video game nerd.
She's more of a video game nerd, which is probably why I kind of connect with her more.
Right? So, like, but they would still say she was a Zoomer. They would be like, oh, yeah, you're a Zoomer. Oh, whatever. You're whatever we say. Because D&D is whatever we want it to be. But, so those kids get in Steve's car, and he drives out there, and then Maxine's brother follows them, because fuck. Like,
okay, yeah. So Burns saying it seems like it's a huge catastrophe in the town, but like one person dies and not many people know about this happening. Okay, the thing about this is that like in season 2 is that it all like it seems most of it just seems to be happening inside the hospital, the
site.
The site, yeah. And yeah, a lot of doctors died there. All of the doctors probably just died there. No one seemed to have. Nobody seemed to have escaped, which is kind of weird.
Right, and the town didn't know because the police department didn't say anything because they didn't have to. It was contained.
Yeah.
But like the leak, that was on the news that this was shut down due to a leak because of their story. but maybe like the mom is a conspiracy theorist and maybe knows the dude that sent the tape in, and he talks to her, and then she talks to him, and he tells her the real story, and then she tells him about the kid, and then he tells Jonathan about the mother, and then Jonathan goes, "No way." And then Will like overhears him, and he's like, "No, nothing." And then Will's like, "Dude, don't lie to me. I'm your brother." And then he tells him, and then they're like, "Shit, we gotta help this kid."
Yeah.
Like there are ways to tie it in that wouldn't be stupid. I'm not a writer. That might not be the best choice. But I'm sure that there could be a way that would make a lot of Stranger Things sense that would be good.
Yeah.
My theory's not perfect. It's true. It's a little bit silly, but like it would be cool to have an inclusion, like a dire choice. You have to decide whether to abandon this person who needs your help, or they're going to die, and their kid is going to die, and you might actually be able to stop it, but are you gonna say no? Or put yourself in danger of the upside down again.
Yeah.
Like, that's a hefty, heroic choice to have to make. And of course, Jim Hopper would be like, fuck it. I'm going. Jim Hopper could be the tie-in, too. He has a sister.
Oh, yeah, he does.
It could be his sister that it's happening to.
So that seems to be about... it seems to be about it. Like, just the conclusions, I guess. It was a good season. Everyone, like, there are people who are just like, oh, it's an amazing season, better than season 1. And just like,
right. No,
you don't understand how stories work.
No, right, right. It's like, it was certainly good. I mean, I don't fault people for that, but it is definitely not the best season.
Yeah, it's not. Like, I don't regard a season as the best one if most of the community wishes come true. Like, hey, Jonathan and Nancy got together.
Right.
And, hey, Eleven and Mike are back together. And, that kind of bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And, like, yeah, just like the biggest thing that I just didn't like about this season was Mike.
Me too. Mike was a huge disappointment. And I didn't like Eleven's side story.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like half of it. I didn't like the part where she
Burn,
visited her mom either.
Burn says, I thought it was better for comedy reasons.
I will agree with that.
Yes.
I will agree that season 2 is funnier than season 1.
But I think that's at the detriment of not having as much serious parts.
Yeah, as much
literally
horror.
when they're like kind of like in a dire situation, Dustin's off like the mind flare.
And like, remember when the lights and remember the creature was like when Will was communicating through the Christmas lights.
I remember
and
that the creature came through the fucking wall.
The creature came through the wall. Yeah, like that was terrifying.
That was an amazing scene. I loved it.
Absolutely, yes. It was terrifying. And that season 2 didn't have any scenes that were like that.
Yeah, because they're all just coming through that gate. Or it's just that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
they all just
Will vomited out one.
Yes, or Will just vomited out. And it was true that it was funnier. I don't think it was at the expense of the horror, but I do think that they didn't use suspense horror as much as they used like B-movie creature horror.
Yeah, it's like and like that same dire situation. Dustin's like, it's the Demodog, because it's like a Demogorgon and a dog.
Right.
It's like, oh, Dustin, you fucking cunt.
Oh, Dustin.
So yeah, it was better in terms of just like but like season 1 was just it was good because it was one creature. It was specifically one creature that no one ever heard of. But now it's season 2 and we are used We are used to the upside down. So it's just demodugs. And there's a lot of them, and they're taking over this hospital. Oh.
Yeah. But in conclusion, it's a good season.
Good season. Yeah.
But season 3 will almost guaranteed be better.
Yes. Almost. We don't want to.
Right. We don't
want to come back for season 3 discussion and go like, "Well, Drew, you were fucking wrong.
You were so wrong.
Fucking hate you." But yeah, season 3 will probably be better.
Yeah.
So
almost guaranteed.
This was just kind of just like, we don't have Brotakast, or what we will call our new Brotakast, up because we don't have a channel for it. That's why this is here, and it's only just the two of us. We usually have more people, but since this is something that not many people have seen, or at least people that we know,
right.
That's why it's just us. So, but hopefully soon we'll be able to get. Well, we should work harder to get like something ready to be the new Brotakast, because
for sure
the list of topics is growing, and we have a lot of shit to talk about, people.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, like. But yeah, that seems to be it.
Alrighty. Well, it was a good.
It's Fuzzy on Twitch. Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. I usually do gaming streams. Like tomorrow, I'll probably be doing more Horizon Zero Dawn.
Check it out.
Check it out. I'll also be streaming on Twitch, of course, because I do both.
Yep. I don't have any channels myself. I just have DrewFlashy1, @DrewFlashy1 on Twitter. But like, I'm in a lot of things that my friends end up recording.
Yeah.
Like Overwatch and other games.
Other game. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me. I mean, you were watching this, but like, I just read the comments.
All right.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I guess I'll see you guys next time.
Yep, see you then.